he feels that he continues to need to drive in terms of, whatever it is that does for him to tell that story. The fact is Hans has delivered on the board, and there's no denying it, but Magnus Carlsen is a heavy favorite. Full stop.
Yeah, I guess the big question is what mentality Magnus will be in. Obviously, it's hard to play any top-level chess player, but one that you have this kind of history with, I think that's a big question mark. And I think that, Hans has played really great chess. We just saw him take down two of the best players in the game, and he's going on his world tour that will eventually, all roads lead to Rome, but sometimes they lead to Paris as well.
All roads lead to Rome, except for when they lead to Paris. I'm pretty sure that was a direct Marcus Aurelius quote. All roads lead to Rome, except when they go to Paris. All roads of a Magnus Carlsen, Hans Niemann showdown point to Paris. As we already told you earlier today, tickets for Sunday are sold out. Magnus Carlsen and Hans Niemann, if I know the schedule correctly, which I guess I should. I really don't know the schedules very well these days. Shout out to Michael Brancato, Nintendo dude, overseeing events so that I don't have to. Love that guy. I think that they play Friday, Robert. And so if you want to get your tickets for Friday and see Magnus versus Hans, now's the time. And I will be there. You will be there. We'll see what happens.
We will indeed. And, these final few games, you see Magnus up 12-7 after he won that previous game while we were chatting about other things. The match is, I think, going to just continue. The lead is going to continue expanding here because Magnus with the black pieces doing everything right. His opponent's double pawns, queen and rook lined up, barreling down, Arjun in time trouble. Danny, I have to say that Magnus is, ooh, that's a
wait a second, a trick? A trick? I don't think Magnus saw that. A brilliant move. Is that the first brilliancy we've had today, by the way? Speaking of a day of no brilliant glyphs, that was interesting.
I think we might have just had like one other. This could be the first. We have to get our team to check it out. But, I mean, Arjun has found these moments, right, where Magnus just is a bit lackadaisical. Oh, I'm just going to get this one done. And then Arjun just finds the tactics.
Agreed. And I think there have been a couple of lackadaisical moments. I would bet Magnus will probably admit as much in the interview that is coming up at the end of the show, assuming he does hold on and get the win. So, but as I said earlier in the match, Robert, Magnus has had lackadaisical moments before. Not everyone converts on those. Arjun has taken those opportunities. It's been great. It's been what's kept this close because I think Magnus overall, the scoreboard, says so. Magnus has been the better player, but the few times Magnus let his foot off the gas, Arjun capitalized, and he might do it again here.
And Arjun setting up some kind of knight g6, rook takes knight with a pin on the 7th rank. So Arjun, he is capitalizing. You made a good point that Magnus is incredibly resourceful. He will fight to the bitter end. And so for Arjun Erigaisi, he's really been hanging in there. And okay, he wants the g-pawn, but apparently that wasn't the right way of going about it. Knight takes g7. There's knight d6 with a fork of the rooks.
Oh. Forky poo gets out of dodge. No more forks for you, sir. Go fork yourself. Can I say that? Go fork another time.
You can. Look at that move G6, a little tricky try from Magnus, who resigns. Arjun Erigaisi up 2 pawns, gets the win. And Danny, it's going to be our last game of the match, it would appear. And it's a 4-point cushion. Magnus Carlsen, he's officially won, of course, but Arjun Erigaisi, he deserves so much credit. He's young. He'll be back in the SEC, and I think he doesn't just want to win one match. He wants to win this whole thing one year.
Yeah, and he's the kind of player who will. It's fun when you see players who have played in the JSCC moved on, I guess, graduated. We actually aren't even running the Junior Speeches Championship this year. It's kind of been positioned into the Chess Kid Championship. Long story, but we're still celebrating, of course, who the future stars are of the many, many years ahead of us in chess, even if the name of that event has changed. But it's fun to see players like Arjun and others just, go from being top juniors who are fast and amazing to watch to become the world's future as far as being the Super Grandmasters and challengers for the world title for years to come. And I think Arjun has a lot more chess ahead against Magnus Carlsen and a lot more chess to prove what he's capable of.
And you pointed this out. It's been talked about in interviews where Arjun, he just hasn't received all the opportunities. And there are only so many to go around. A lot of chess tournaments, 10 players, round robin format. And so for Arjun, I think everyone wants to see him in each and every competition, especially his rating has been on a straight line up towards the top. So Arjun will learn from this. That's one of my biggest takeaways from that World Rapid Team, whatever it's called, event, the Wadim thing, is that when Arjun lost to Magnus,
the Wadim thing.
Yeah,
Did someone
exactly.
clip that Robert just said?
I don't really know what it's called, the proper name, but the point is that
Okay.
I know he organized it to win a quote unquote world title, but for Arjun, when he lost to Magnus, that Chess Base India clip of him like immediately going up to Magnus after the game, talking to him, you can see that hunger to improve. You could see that respect that he has from players who are currently better than him, but also have so much experience and so much wisdom to provide. So I've had very pleasant interactions with Arjun when I commentated in the Tata Steel Rapid and Blitz in India as this match comes to a close, and Arjun's time at the SEC also comes to a close. I just want to say that this is a very ambitious, very talented, very kind young man who is just starting in his already illustrious career, and I'm just super stoked to see him continue to play in tournaments. We don't root for anybody, but he is a hard person not to root for.
Couldn't agree more, and well said on every level. And not to make it about more than Arjun, because this is about him in this moment with his match versus Magnus. But I want to say that what you just talked about in terms of his hunger going up to Magnus after the loss, I just wanted to share, reminded me of some of the interactions with Prague and Norway that I had in June. I just want to say there's a poise that a lot of these young Indian players have, Robert, that is mature beyond their years. There's like a wisdom in terms of how they approach the tough losses, in terms of their ability to kind of have short-term memory loss. They talk about that in sports a lot. Supreme confidence comes with just not beating yourself up. And it comes with this sort of relentless desire to learn. So again, not to take Arjun's moment, we're celebrating him. He has many more opportunities to come, but I want to shout out that it's one of the things that I experienced again with both Prague and Vaishali in Norway when we were in Stavanger. And I know Gukesh has the same thing. And Prague said that they work with like mindfulness kind of guru coaches, Robert. Like they are mature beyond their years, and Arjun is one of them. And it's incredibly exciting to see.
And Arjun wins the final game, but the match is Magnus Carlsen's. These two clearly haven't had enough chess. The game has been abandoned, but as we see on the screen, Magnus Carlsen defeats Arjun 12-9. He moves on to the Speed Chess Championship semifinals. Yeah, drink that water, get yourself some refreshment, and I think everybody should get their popcorn ready because it's the matchup, Danny, that the whole world has been waiting for.